Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we'll see what the Creeper is. One of the most terrifying, malevolent, and perplexing characters to ever hit the big screen is, without a doubt, the Creeper. With its ominous presence, its ability to regenerate, and its insatiable hunger, it has earned a special place in the pantheon of cinematic monsters. Its appearance, unsettling and almost alien, its ability to fly, and its macabre hunting methods make it a living nightmare, lurking in the dark, waiting for the right moment to strike. That's why, in this video, we'll explore all the details about this malevolent being, from its terrifying history in films and comics, to its physical appearance, what we know about its personality and behavior, and its incredible abilities and known weaknesses that make it so fearsome. The origin of the Creeper is one of the biggest mysteries of the Jeepers Creepers franchise. Unlike other horror movie monsters, such as Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees, who have well-defined origin stories, the Creeper remains an enigma. It has never been explained exactly where it comes from, what it really is, or why it follows a 23-year hunting cycle. Is it a demon, an ancient creature, or an experiment? Throughout the films and comics, several theories about the true origin of the Creeper have been suggested. One of the most popular ideas is that the Creeper is an extremely ancient entity, possibly predating humanity. Its unique biology, regenerative ability, and feeding method suggest it could be a type of natural predator that has existed since time immemorial, evolving alongside humanity and hunting in 23-year cycles. In Jeepers Creepers 3, there are references to its existence for centuries, which supports this theory. In the first film, a psychic woman named Giselle suggests that the Creeper is a demon or a malevolent entity that cannot be understood through human logic. Its monstrous form, resistance to death, and murderous instinct make it seem more like a manifestation of evil than a simple biological being. It is also hinted that the Creeper may have been summoned or released at some point in the past, which could explain why it follows such specific hunting rules. Although this theory hasn't been explored in the films, some fans have speculated that the Creeper could be the result of a failed genetic experiment, or even an extraterrestrial entity. Its unique biology, its ability to regenerate by consuming human parts, and its strange 23-year hibernation cycle could be signs that it was artificially created or belongs to a species not native to Earth. Although the franchise has never revealed a concrete origin, several clues give us information about its history. In Jeepers Creepers 3, a group of hunters discovers that the Creeper has been hunting humans for centuries. This confirms that it is not a simple recent mutant creature, but a being with an extensive history. The Creeper owns a modified vehicle with deadly traps, suggesting it has had plenty of time to perfect its hunting. It has also been seen to have ancient artifacts inside its truck, which could indicate that it has been collecting items from its victims for centuries. In the third film, a woman has visions of the Creeper's history when she touches one of its objects. This hints that there is something deeply mystical about its nature. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Creeper is its hibernation cycle. It wakes up every 23 years for 23 days to feed. No one knows why this number is so important, but in numerology, 23 is often associated with death and transformation. In several ancient cultures, 23 is a number related to resurrection and destiny. Some fans have theorized that the Creeper might have been part of a sacrificial ritual, or that its cycle is linked to cosmic events that affect its awakening. While the films have never provided a clear answer, some theories suggest that the Creeper might have been, perhaps, at some point in the past, a human was cursed by an ancient ritual and became the immortal predator we know. This would explain its cunning, its desire for certain human parts, and its methodical behavior. In some horror stories, demons can be summoned through ancient rituals. In Jeepers Creepers Reborn, a cult that worships the Creeper is mentioned, suggesting that there might be a connection between its existence and ancient followers. Maybe it has always existed, like a prehistoric shark, that keeps hunting for no apparent reason. In this case, its 23-year cycle could simply be a biological mechanism, similar to certain insects that emerge only in specific years. The third movie in the series, Jeepers Creepers 3 2017, is the story that takes place the furthest back in the timeline. However, it has a peculiar structure, as it is not a full prequel, but instead occurs between the end of Jeepers Creepers 2001 and before the events of Jeepers Creepers 2 2003. Although the movie was criticized for its execution, it provides several clues about the creeper, its possible origin, and the existence of people who have tried to stop it for generations. The story begins right after the creeper's attack on siblings Derry and Trish Jenner in the first movie. At this point, the creeper has captured Derry and taken his eyes, leaving a trail of death behind. As the creeper continues to stalk the roads, local authorities begin to investigate the recent events and discover that they are dealing with something much older and more terrifying than they ever imagined. One of the most interesting aspects of this movie is the introduction of a secret squad of hunters who have been chasing the creeper for generations. The leader of this group is Sheriff Dan Tashtego, who has dedicated his life to studying the creature. Unlike other characters who face the creeper for the first time, Tashtego already knows what it is and has gathered key information about its nature. Along with his team, Tashtego tries to stop the creeper while it is still active in its 23-day cycle, hoping to kill it before it hibernates again. Throughout the movie, several clues are revealed about the true nature of the creeper. One of the most important moments in Jeepers Creepers 3 occurs when Tashtego's team finds a severed hand from the creeper. When someone touches this hand, they have visions about the creature's origin. Although the movie doesn't show exactly what the characters see, their reactions indicate that they have discovered something terrifying. This suggests that the creeper is not just a monster, but there is a deeper backstory to its existence. It is mentioned that the creeper has been hunting for centuries, possibly long before written records could document it. This reinforces the idea that it is an ancient entity whose 23-year cycle has continued uninterrupted for generations. One of the greatest mysteries of the movie is whether the creeper can be permanently eliminated. Despite Tashtego and his team's efforts, the creature proves to be incredibly resilient. This suggests that, while it can be injured, killing the creeper may require more than just firepower. In Jeepers Creepers 3, more focus is given to the creeper's truck, a modified vehicle with deadly traps. It has hidden spikes, metal reinforcements, and a security system that kills any intruder. This truck is an extension of the creeper, almost as if it were alive in some way. What's most interesting is that the creeper seems to rely on it to transport its victims and hide its trail. This detail reinforces the idea that the creeper has existed for a long time and has had centuries to perfect its hunting methods. In parallel with the creeper's hunt, the movie introduces several townspeople who have had encounters with the creature in the past. One of the most important characters is Galen Brandon, an elderly woman who lost her son because of the creeper. She keeps her own collection of mementos about the creature and, like Tashtego, seems to know secrets about its origin. However, as in many horror stories, most of the townspeople do not believe in the existence of the creeper or simply fear getting involved. This allows the creature to continue hunting without being stopped. As the movie progresses, Tashtego's team finally manages to locate the creeper and prepares an ambush. They use explosives and heavy weapons to try to kill it. However, the creeper demonstrates almost supernatural resistance and survives. Finally, Tashtego dies in the confrontation, and the creeper remains free. The movie ends by hinting that the creeper will continue its hunt, leading directly into the events of Jeepers Creepers 2. Jeepers Creepers 2001 is the most iconic story of the creeper and the starting point for the franchise. It was released in 2001 and established the creature's mythology, presenting it as a terrifying and unstoppable being. The movie follows siblings Derry and Trish Jenner, who have a deadly encounter with the entity during its hunting cycle. The story takes place in the final days of the creeper's feeding cycle. It is implied that the creature has been hunting in that area for weeks, but the movie only shows us its final victims. Throughout the film, clues are revealed about its modus operandi, although its origin remains a mystery. The story begins with Derry and Trish Jenner, two siblings traveling by car on a lonely road in Florida. On the way, a rusty, noisy truck with the license plate BATNG, Be Eating You, violently chases them. After getting away from the truck, they see its driver throwing bodies wrapped in sheets down a nearby pipe near an abandoned church. The driver turns out to be the creeper, although at this point, the protagonists don't know this. Driven by curiosity and the concern that someone might still be alive, Derry convinces Trish to go back and investigate. This is the point of no return. By interfering with the creeper's hunt, the siblings become its targets. Derry climbs down the pipe and falls into a basement covered in corpses. The walls are covered with bodies sewn together, forming a sort of macabre artwork. He realizes that the bodies are preserved like mummies, indicating that the creeper has a way of preserving its victims. Among the corpses, Derry finds Kenny and his girlfriend, a couple that disappeared years ago, confirming that the creature has been hunting for a long time. This discovery is crucial, as it confirms that the creeper not only kills, but also collects and displays the remains of its victims. Derry and Trish flee the scene without realizing that the creeper has now marked them as prey. As the story progresses, the siblings try to seek help, but the creeper follows them inhumanely. It moves at impossible speeds with its truck. It possesses superhuman strength, able to move cars and break structures with ease. It can smell fear and select its victims based on their most desirable organs. The siblings try to alert the police, but the creeper finds them at a gas station and devours an officer's tongue, showing that it regenerates by absorbing parts of its victims. This reveals one of the creeper's most terrifying rules. When it chooses you, it won't stop until it gets what it wants. In their desperation, Derry and Trish contact Giselle Gay Hartman, a woman with psychic abilities who has had visions of the creeper. Giselle explains that the creature awakens every 23 years and hunts for 23 days. It selects its victims by the scent of fear and eats what it needs to regenerate. She has seen in her dreams that the song Jeepers Creepers will play when the creeper catches Derry. The siblings try to escape, but Giselle's prophecy is inevitable. Derry and Trish are cornered in a police station. Trish attempts to sacrifice herself to save her brother, offering herself in his place. However, the creeper rejects Trish and chooses Derry, as his eyes are what it needs. In a terrifying moment, the creeper takes Derry, flying away in front of everyone, disappearing into the night. This ending reinforces the idea that the creeper is not just a killer, but an unstoppable force that always gets what it wants. The final scene shows a dark warehouse, where the creeper has set up its new nest. The song Jeepers Creepers plays, just as Giselle predicted. The camera slowly moves to reveal Derry, now dead and without his eyes. The creeper is behind him, using his eyes as its own, completing its regeneration. This ending makes it clear that the creeper cannot be stopped and will continue hunting until its cycle ends. Jeepers Creepers 2 is the direct continuation of the events from Jeepers Creepers 1, but unlike the third installment, this movie was much better received and became a horror classic of the 2000s. Unlike the first film, where the creeper hunted individual victims, here we see how it faces a large group, allowing us to see more of its abilities, endurance, and hunting strategies. The story takes place on the last day of the creeper's 23-day hunting cycle, which means it is desperate to collect as many bodies as possible before entering hibernation. The movie takes place 3 days after the events of Jeepers Creepers 2001 and after the events of Jeepers Creepers 3. This means that the creeper has been hunting for over 3 weeks and its cycle is about to end. The film begins with a shocking scene. Billy Taggart, a boy who lives on a farm with his family, is kidnapped by the Creeper in broad daylight. His father, Jack Taggart Sr., and his brother, Jack Taggart Jr., are witnesses to the attack. Unlike other victims who are attacked on lonely roads, Billy is kidnapped directly from his home, showing that the Creeper has become more aggressive and desperate. This event becomes the main drive of the story, as Jack Sr. vows to seek revenge and spends the rest of the film hunting the Creeper. Most of the movie centers around a high school basketball team, their coaches, and cheerleaders who are traveling on a school bus back home after a tournament. They are a perfect target, a large group of young people on a desolate road. The Creeper punctures the bus tires with one of its weapons and leaves them stranded in the middle of nowhere. Then it begins to stalk them, choosing its victims one by one. This is a key moment as the movie shows us how the Creeper selects its prey. In this film, a crucial detail is revealed. The Creeper does not kill at random. It watches its prey carefully and smells their fear. When it finds someone with an organ it is interested in, it stares at them with a sinister smile. This terrifies the other characters, as they realize they are being chosen. The most terrifying moment occurs when the Creeper looks at each of the players on the team through the bus window, choosing its next victims. Unlike the previous films where the Creeper acted more stealthily, here we see it in direct combat with multiple people at the same time. Some of its most notable abilities in this movie include agile and fast flight, allowing it to attack from the air without warning. Superhuman strength, able to lift a human with one hand or break metal doors effortlessly. Extreme regeneration. Even when it loses parts of its body, it can replace them with parts from its victims. Incredible endurance, as gunshots or serious wounds don't affect it. Additionally, we are shown that the Creeper is intelligent and strategic, as it attacks at the most opportune moments and avoids unnecessary risks. As the Creeper continues hunting, Jack Taggart Sr. and his son Jr. pursue it with a modified homemade harpoon, designed specifically to hunt the creature. When they manage to shoot it with the harpoon, the Creeper is severely injured but still keeps fighting. Eventually, they weaken it enough and see it fall into hibernation just before its 23-day cycle ends. This confirms that, although the Creeper is nearly invincible, its hibernation is inevitable and it cannot prevent its body from entering a dormant state when the cycle ends. The film ends with a time jump of 23 years, showing the future. The Creeper's body has been captured and hung in a barn by Jack Taggart Sr. It is now a tourist attraction known as the Bat Out of Hell. Jack Sr. still watches over it, waiting for the moment it will wake up again. With this, the movie makes it clear that the Creeper will hunt again in the future, setting the stage for a possible continuation of the story. After almost 20 years since Jeepers Creepers 2, and following the negative reception of Jeepers Creepers 3, the franchise attempted to reinvent itself with Jeepers Creepers Reborn in 2022. However, this film does not follow the original continuity. Instead of being a sequel, it is a reboot that alters the Creeper's story and establishes a new version of the character. Unlike the previous films, Jeepers Creepers Reborn does not mention the events of the first 3 films and reimagines the Creeper with an entirely different backstory. This has caused confusion among fans, as it is unclear whether this version of the Creeper is the same creature as before or a different being inspired by the original legend. The film begins with an elderly couple, Marie and Ronald, who are traveling on the road and have a terrifying encounter with the Creeper in a scene reminiscent of the beginning of Jeepers Creepers 2001. However, the film soon reveals that this scene is not real, but rather a dramatization within the universe of the story, indicating that in this world, the Creeper is treated as an urban legend. This is a radical shift in the franchise, as in the previous films the Creeper operated in secret, while here it seems to be a cult figure known by society. The main plot follows Chase and Lane, a couple traveling to an event called the Horror Hound Festival, a horror convention in Louisiana. Chase is a horror fan who believes in the Creeper's legend. Lane, on the other hand, begins having strange visions of the Creeper, suggesting a supernatural connection with it. At the convention, themed events are organized, including a contest that leads a group of people to a haunted house in the middle of the woods. This change in setting is another point of difference from the previous films, which always took place on desolate roads and open fields. One of the most controversial changes in the film is the new backstory of the Creeper. Instead of being a mysterious and inhuman entity, it is suggested here that the Creeper is part of a satanic cult that worships him and helps him hunt victims. Lane is kidnapped by these cult members because they believe she is destined to give the Creeper a child, indicating that this version of the creature might be more biological than mystical. The Creeper not only hunts to regenerate, but it seems to be seeking offspring. This change has been heavily criticized by fans, as it removes the character's air of mystery and gives him a much more conventional backstory. Although this version of the Creeper retains some classic abilities, it also shows notable differences. It looks less grotesque, and its face seems more like a mask. Compared to previous versions, it appears weaker and more vulnerable to attacks. Lane has visions of him before his appearance, suggesting a psychic connection. He doesn't seem to act alone, but works together with his followers. These changes were heavily criticized, as they reduced the sense of terror and threat of the character. Chase and Lane manage to escape with the help of other characters and end up burning the Creeper in an explosion. Unlike the previous films, where the Creeper always survived or went into hibernation, here it is implied that he truly died. However, in the post-credits scene, a crow is shown approaching the Creeper's remains, suggesting that he could still return. This ending is ambiguous, but it did not generate enough interest to continue the story, as the film was harshly criticized by fans. The physical appearance of the Creeper is one of the most fascinating and terrifying aspects of the character. It is a humanoid creature of great height and strange proportions. Its figure may resemble a human being, but with noticeable differences that separate it from any ordinary human. In terms of height, it stands at approximately between 2.4 and 2.7 meters, 8 to 9 feet, giving it an intimidating presence. One of the most striking features of the Creeper is its face. It is extremely inhuman, with an appearance that seems to be halfway between a demon and an insect. The Creeper's eyes are a bright yellow color, often described as piercing and pupilless, which contributes to its terrifying gaze. Its face is angular, with a skeletal structure that curves in strange ways. Often, its skin has a grayish or bluish hue. Throughout the films, the Creeper appears to have little or no visible hair on its head, which accentuates its alien-like appearance. The Creeper has a small, sharp nose, while its mouth is quite wide, with sharp fangs and teeth. Its mouth seems to be designed to tear flesh with ease. Its hands are large with long fingers, equipped with sharp claws instead of nails. These claws allow it to latch onto and tear apart its victims efficiently. In its most monstrous form, the Creeper has bat-like wings that allow it to fly, a feature that makes it even more terrifying. These wings are dark in color, with thin, torn membranes, adding to its supernatural creature appearance. If its body suffers any damage, such as a wound or a serious injury, the Creeper can take parts from the people it has killed, eyes, wings, muscles, etc., and replace its own parts with them, even changing its appearance. Throughout the films, it is mentioned that it can smell fear and sense the life energy of people, allowing it to choose its victims based on their emotions or the parts of their bodies that are more desirable to it. And this is all we know so far about the entity known as the Creeper. The first time I saw this being was in Jeepers Creepers 2, and I was fascinated by everything related to it, as it seemed to be an almost unstoppable creature. And truly, when they mentioned that it feeds every 23 days, it's something that really terrified me. But let me know your opinion in the comments. Did you already know the creeper? Do you believe a creature as monstrous and terrifying as this could really exist? And finally, if you could meet this entity, do you think it would choose you? Share your answers to these questions and your general thoughts on the creeper from the Jeepers Creepers universe. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, share it to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos.